So today we're going to talk about something that I feel like confuses a lot of people when they first start out in photography. And to be honest, I feel like it's something that a lot of new photographers don't even really know about. I have so many people come up to me and say, Cody, what's a JPEG? What's a RAW? I've heard that I should be shooting in RAW, but I don't really know why. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So when we talk about JPEGs and RAWs, what we're referring to is the file format in which your camera is taking your photograph. A JPEG, for instance, is a compressed file format. This means that after you take the photograph, your camera will condense it down into a smaller file, and depending on what camera you have, it could make small changes to the contrast or the color to give you a more finalized look straight out of the camera. The advantages here is that the photograph is smaller, and smaller means that you can fit a lot more on your memory card or your hard drive. And for those of you who have yet to get into the editing process, like I said earlier, it will give you a more finalized looking product out of the camera right away. Now, on the other hand, when we're talking about a raw file is a file that is completely uncompressed, meaning that the camera does nothing to it at all. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to shooting in RAW. So because the RAW file is completely uncompressed, it means that your photograph is going to end up with a higher dynamic range. Dynamic range is the amount of tones that are between the darkest and lightest parts of your photograph. Now, when you have more of these tones, it makes it a lot easier for you to edit in programs like Photoshop and Lightroom. Now, you may say, well, Cody, if I shoot in RAW and I edit and save it down to a JPEG, aren't I cutting down on my quality anyway? And to that, I say, yes, but still not as much as if you were to shoot a JPEG and edit it in a program like Photoshop or Lightroom, and then save it to a JPEG again. See, when you edit a JPEG file, your camera is already compressing that image down into a smaller, more digestible file, effectively cutting the dynamic range almost in half. Once you begin the editing process and save your image again as a JPEG, you are only compressing it further. When we edit a RAW photograph, however, we are using the completely untouched original file. This means that when we finish our editing and save to a JPEG, we're only putting our file through the compression process once, as opposed to twice if you were shooting in a JPEG. This is why a lot of professional photographers will shoot in RAW, because you lose a lot less data when you finally bring it into the editing process and compress it down to a JPEG or a TIFF or whatever you decide to eventually compress it down to send it off to your client. Now, like I said, there are also disadvantages to shooting in RAW. For instance, your file is huge. Sometimes it's even as big as 2 or 3 times the size of your JPEG file. This means that the space on your computer may fill up pretty quick and potentially make your computer pretty slow. This is why a lot of professional photographers will go out and buy tons and tons of external hard drives to store all their images on. I'll leave a link to some external hard drives that I use in case you want to start getting on that and get a new hard drive. By the way, this isn't a sponsor, although it could be. I'm just trying to help. Now, there is a possibility that I may have missed something or got something wrong, so if I did, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you learned something, please feel free to like the video and comment and tell me what you thought. Did I help you out? Did this not help you out at all? I'd like to know, because I like making these videos, and if I can, I want to make them as well as I can for you guys. But as always, my name is Cody. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, people.